Let's say this is a firm on LIFO, this is a firm on FIFO. This is year 1. We purchase inventory of 1000 rupees. Purchase inventory of 1000 rupees. Because it was an inflationary scenario, my COGS was higher. So my COGS here was 600, whereas my COGS here was only 300. Because of that, I have amount of inventory which is 400. I have amount of inventory which is 700. Since I'm using LIFO and I'm operating in US GAAP environment, as per the accounting standards, I would be required to calculate LIFO reserve. So how do I calculate LIFO reserve? Intention of calculation of LIFO reserve is, if someone reads the LIFO reserve from notes to accounts, he would directly understand that had the firm used FIFO, what would have been the amount of FIFO inventory. So had I used FIFO, the amount of FIFO inventory would have been 700. Therefore, LIFO reserve here is 300. So with this, now I have an intuition. What is the intuition? If I take LIFO inventory and to that if I add LIFO reserve, it would directly give me FIFO inventory. So 400 plus 300, it would directly give me what inventory otherwise would have been had I used FIFO. Are we okay up to this? So if I tell you the other way around, that FIFO inventory is 700, LIFO reserve is 300, how much is LIFO inventory? 3. Then 400. Just reduce the amount from there and you get the inventory value. So you should be able to do backwards and forwards. Now let's go to next year. So this is year 2 now. I have an opening inventory amount, let us say of 400, plus I made another purchase of 1000. So I have total inventory of 1400. Here I have opening inventory amount of 700, plus I made another purchases of 1000, 1700. When I make purchases, that time the value would be same, whether I'm using LIFO or FIFO, because my money is going out then. Now I have a COGS here of, let us say, 500, and I have a COGS here of 200. No, let me make this as, I have a COGS here of 400. How much is my closing inventory? Closing inventory is 900. How much is my closing inventory? 1300. Now what would be the amount of LIFO reserve here? LIFO reserve is again the difference between 2, which is 400. Now how did I calculate LIFO reserve? From 2 sources. Number 1, that closing inventory 900, closing inventory 1300, the difference between 2 inventory 400. But what also happened, that there was a difference of 2 COGS of 100, and last year's LIFO reserve was how much? 300. So 300 plus a difference of 2 COGS 100, so I have a LIFO reserve of 400. So this LIFO reserve can be calculated in 2 possible ways. Number 1, FIFO inventory minus LIFO inventory, or the second possible way is opening LIFO reserve plus LIFO COGS minus FIFO COGS. So how do you think? Think of LIFO reserve as an accumulative item, but the amount by which LIFO reserve increases is actually the differences in 2 COGS, and that would keep on accumulating over the period of time. So agle saal, if there's again a difference of 100, my LIFO reserve would become 500. It would keep on increasing by the differences of 2 COGS. Don't nod, let's try. May I delete the screen? Okay, do it right quickly. Is it done? So that someone reading the balance sheet of LIFO company and they want to compare that balance sheet with a FIFO company, they can add the LIFO reserve and know what would be the FIFO inventory. They can add the differences in COGS. No, they can reduce the differences in COGS and know what would be the FIFO COGS. Yes, is it done? Okay, let's do an example. Opening leave. It would go down if the environment is deflationary, or it would go down if the inventory is not being purchased, if you're dealing with old inventory. And that's called LIFO liquidation. We don't need that as of now. But let's say opening LIFO reserve is all 100. Closing LIFO reserve is 150. You have a FIFO inventory of 250. Tell me what would be the LIFO inventory? Either there's something wrong with me or something wrong with you. Yeah, and all of you would of course vote saying that it's how do you understand this? See, inventory is a balance sheet item. LIFO reserve is balance sheet like of item, accumulative. COGS is an income statement type of item. Increase in LIFO reserve is COGS type of item. So, what is the meaning of LIFO reserve? That, think of it this way. LIFO, higher amount of COGS goes out. Therefore, LIFO inventory would always be lower. LIFO, higher amount of COGS goes out, last in first out. So LIFO inventory in inflationary environment would always be lower. If LIFO inventory is lower, which means that I take this reserve, reduce it here, LIFO inventory is 100. And that's how the reserve was calculated, that there was a difference of 150 in two inventory. And therefore we have a LIFO reserve of 150. Yes. Now next, let us say your FIFO COGS is 600. Tell me what's your LIFO COGS? 650 is the answer. Because the differences in two COGS was 50, that 50 was added to your opening LIFO reserve, and that's how you got closing LIFO reserve of 150. Last example. Opening inventory 10 lakhs. Closing inventory 15 lakhs in LIFO. In FIFO, opening inventory 12 lakhs. Closing inventory 18 lakhs. FIFO COGS is 3 lakhs. Tell me what's the LIFO COGS? Four is the answer. How? Opening LIFO was 10, opening FIFO was 12. Since FIFO inventory is higher by 2, opening LIFO reserve is 2. Closing is 15, closing is 18, closing LIFO reserve 3. LIFO reserve increased by 1. That means differences in two COGS is 1. Therefore LIFO COGS 4. Yes, no. Is it because you people are tired or are you generally like this?